Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks a lot for coming on the show, Jessie.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so we can just dive right in if you want.
Sure, sounds
Cool.
good.
Okay. So you're coming to town, or I'm in St. John, but you're coming to Fredericton to play Flourish Festival the weekend of the 20th, right? In June?
Yes.
Okay. So that's where I saw, it was just the band photo popped up, and I was like, that's an interesting band name. I dialed your number. So that was really the whole reason why I checked out the tunes. And I really enjoyed the lo-fi, the vibe that's going on, and then that made me learn about the term peer emo.
Oh yeah.
And I thought maybe we could start there, just because anyone who throws on Hourglass, I know you just put out a new song too, but the album Hourglass, they might come across peer emo. Maybe you'd want to, for people in St. John listening, maybe you'd want to explain what that might be or what that movement's about.
Sure, yeah. Peer emo is literally just a play on Midwest emo, except that instead of being from the Midwest, it's just from the pier, which we define as just Nova Scotia or mostly Halifax, but any bands around that area.
And that would include like Breakfast Time is part of that scene?
Oh yeah. Breakfast Time, Captain Sunshine, Proud Dads, Angry Wild Elephant.
Angry Wild Elephant, that's a cool name.
I know.
Okay.
My friend Cal behind that project.
Okay, I'll have to look that up. I'll remember that. So is it a relatively new scene that's developed, or like how's it unfolded over the past few years?
Sort of. I'd say it kind of got its like little bit of media recognition as of recently, but Captain Sunshine has been releasing music since like a few years ago, and so have I, but I wouldn't consider it emo, and Breakfast Time has been a band for a pretty long time.
Okay.
So I think the term itself just kind of blew up more in the last month, or not month, in the last 6 months probably.
Okay.
For a year.
Is that because I know I dialed your number was mentioned in was it Idiotech?
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you're talking about? Is like lately has been some media been paying attention to the bands in that scene?
I'd say like some articles are paying attention to my band and other peer emo bands, but not really gluing together the fact that it is like considered peer emo.
Okay.
I'd say the term itself has just resurfaced over the last year or so.
Okay.
It has existed. I'm not sure when it began, but it has existed for like a little bit, but not very long.
Okay. And was it birthed like at the bar scene, or was it an all ages movement, or like what? How did it come to?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. It's mostly an all ages scene, just because everybody that makes music under peer emo, most of them are under the age of 19.
Okay.
And there are emo shows in bars, but I'd say most of the emo shows here are at Radstorm, which is an all ages venue. Radstorm,
okay. Is it a dedicated venue, or is it just like someone renting a hall, or?
So Radstorm is this DIY non-for-profit venue that anyone can book a show at, and it's been really, really helpful to like develop our music community here. And it's also used as like an art space, a screen printing space. They have meetings there, and
cool.
Basically, I do some volunteering for the venue, and right now we're working towards getting grants to buy the space because we don't actually own it.
Okay.
And yeah, they have like rehearsal space as well, and a recording space, jam space, screen printing. They have a tape deck. They have like a lot of things to do there.
Okay. So it sounds like a collective almost.
It is collective. It's considered one. There's a Sad Rad collective is what it's called.
Sad
Rad.
Just
for the music.
Okay. That's really cool. So so Radstorm, it uses the same facility, but they want to buy the building that they're in right now just to secure the space kind of going forward?
Yeah, I think they're renting right now.
Okay. That'd be really cool, because all ages, like 20 years ago, back when I was like 17, 18, we started an all ages scene in Sussex because there's basically nowhere, Sussex, New Brunswick, because there was like nowhere to play all ages shows. And it feels like it'd be nice to see an all ages resurgence come around here. And like I guess I'm talking about New Brunswick again, but it's cool hearing that this place called Radstorm is coming.
Yeah, Radstorm is like, it's recognized by like people in the States too. It has its own Wikipedia page. It's just been a collective for such a long time, and it's literally been so important to help develop the all ages scene here. And I
That's
think
awesome.
that's why pure emo has made such a like resurgence, is because of Radstorm.
Okay.
And, like community impression.
Yeah, that's really cool. Is there like one singular person who's in charge of all like, the finances of it, like renting it and all the like all those things that come along with owning it, or is it really like shared amongst members?
It's definitely a community effort. I'd say there's like some legal documents where it's under one name.
Yeah.
And I'm not completely sure what's behind all of that, but I know there's one main person that deals with like finance things, but it's definitely mostly collective effort.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. It sounds like it's diversified. If there's you mentioned like a print studio and different people using it for different reasons. Yeah, that's really cool. And so I also came across like a record label called Warm Walk Records. Is that you're involved with that as well?
Yeah, I co-own it.
You co-own it. Okay, cool. Now, is that a reason to put out your own music, or what? Like, what's the genesis of that record label?
My idea there, I mean, I wasn't the one who came up with the idea of the label. I just kind of started helping my friend out who was starting it up. And it's not really to put out my own music. I just do that as kind of a plus. But I mostly, my goal is to mostly just highlight other smaller artists or maybe even bigger artists. Just to like sell their items, and like kind of our approach to being a label, we're more DIY, less contracts or signing, and we basically just do tape runs or CD runs for people. And if you've seen the tape run for Hourglass that I did under my label, you can see it's very like customized, very glittered. There's like a hydro dip, blue, purple, pink. So stuff like that, like super customized runs are like kind of our specialty.
Okay. When you said hydro dip?
Yeah, hydro dip. It was like the empty tape dipped into the pool, kind of like a pool of water. I didn't do it, so I think I'm just guessing, but it's like paint kind of swirls, and when you dip the tape in, it makes this like cool swirl pattern with like glitter on top. And it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. And that's before the music gets recorded onto the tape? Like you buy them that way, or?
I'm not sure. I just got a shipment of them one morning from our label collaborator, Don't Stress Flower Press Records.
Okay, cool. So, and like you put out a tape run for I Dialed Your Number, but it's sold out now, isn't it?
Yeah, not to brag or anything, but it like sold out the minute I put it onto the website, and then it sold out the minute I sold them at shows. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
We are working on another run though, which is
okay, cool.
It's going to have an even cooler design, maybe some paper clips inside of the tape.
Oh, really? The paper clip. So I did come across your obsession with Clippy. I don't know if that's right, or Clip It maybe. Like
Clippy. Hold on.
Clippy.
Trying to show you my Clippy.
You got a tattoo.
Yeah.
That's awesome. See, what's funny is that like I grew up in high school and middle school with Clippy.
Yeah.
Like because I'm old enough to remember sitting down and seeing that friggin' thing pop up whenever we'd be doing a school project. What's up with that? Is it an inside joke, or like what's the Clippy thing all about?
More or less, kind of like it began as kind of like an online friend a long time ago compared me to Clippy for being like quote unquote annoying and discontinued, and I thought that was like mean but pretty hilarious. So I just kind of went with it, and like it wasn't until like last year I really dove into the whole Clippy thing. I thought having like a recognizable logo that is not even mine, I don't even own it, but like kind of a logo, but also kind of like a cool, like nostalgic thing.
I mean, it worked on me. It can't, and I noticed. I think you must have changed it, but wasn't your Bandcamp page like designed like Microsoft Windows 3.1?
Yeah, it used to be, but I changed it just to be a little simpler.
Okay.
I mean, I might do it with my other Bandcamp. I dialed the wrong number at .bandcamp.com. I might do something with that. Okay. I just used that for like a dumping ground for my previous projects from when I was like 13 and stuff.
Okay, I was going to ask you about that because I was listening to what song was it here? I actually really enjoyed Sounds from the Telephone, that collection of tunes. Yeah. I thought it was pretty good.
Was made in like 10 minutes, I can't lie.
The whole release?
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah, wow, that's cool. I kind of enjoy. I wanted to ask you about like like obviously music, it's so easy to like pitch correct and time align stuff. And so I wanted to ask you, you do your own engineering, is that right? Or do you?
Yeah, I do everything except for Ghost Hands, where I wrote the song and then it was more of a collaborative effort to record and produce it. But
yeah,
other than Ghost Hands, Hourglass and like all of the I dialed the wrong number stuff is like just me.
Okay. When you're doing the engineer, like, did you teach yourself engineering, or do you have like a background in it or anything?
I taught myself how to produce, but I produce in such a different way than most people. If you probably tell by how like lo-fi and really strangely mixed it can be.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't have a professional training in it. So what I do basically is I put just random effects onto each track and kind of listen for what sounds the best.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that with the equipment that I have, nothing really sounds crisp at all. So if I hide it behind BitCrush, then it will sound kind of like a VHS camera if that had audio.
Okay.
I mean, it does have audio, but like if the visual itself was audio, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. No, I get it. I like the VHS. Again, old man alert, but like we would record, like Lex on Fire played in Sussex. That was the biggest show we had there, and like we recorded on VHS. So like it's I enjoy the nostalgia of VHS, that effect coming back, because you use that in your music video too, right? The VHS effect.
Yeah. I've always been a huge fan of like not old but a little older kind of mediums, like especially stuff like Microsoft like Clippy era Microsoft or VHS cameras, digital cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have an Instagram account where I just use I've had this digital camera since 2005 that I've been using.
Okay.
It was kind of like a childhood camera for me because I was born in 2005, so I just got this camera inherited from my parents, and I've been using it growing up and stuff, and it's cool just to use that and post. Yeah. Got a really good like color scheme to it.
Do you find people are trying to make filters that imitate the way this camera that you have just looks naturally?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And I can't tell if it's successful. I don't like, in my experience trying to use those kinds of filters was not very successful, but I'm sure some photographer out there has figured out the right recipe to edit photos that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it must be out there, but it's something about it being authentic that, I mean, can't really fake it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Bunny music video was recorded with a VHS camera, so it was like...
Cool. So that explains... Yeah, okay. Because I thought I assumed it was a filter, and I just thought it was really well done.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I just assumed. But
no one has said that to me before, actually.
I just didn't imagine someone I just couldn't really imagine someone actually doing it with a VHS camera, but that explains why it looks so...
It was like...
Really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's awesome. Okay, that explains that. So originally when I was brought up engineering, I wanted to ask you, are you tempted to like pitch correct and time align? Or do you consciously say, I'm not going to do any of that? Or do you not like think about it at all?
Pitch correct? Like correct my vocals and stuff?
Everything. Like, you can like pitch correct guitars and bass and like, I don't know if you use Melodyne or like...
Yeah.
So
sometimes it depends on the project, really. Like, I feel like I have kind of like a broad sense of genre and stuff. For like emo stuff, I feel like DIY, less production is kind of crucial for my writing, just like for the rawness aspect of it. But I definitely have other projects going on where I prefer to use like Melodyne and stuff. And I'm going into production school in September.
Oh, cool.
This is kind of working right now, but yeah.
Okay. So you're going to let's talk about that. Maybe you're going to a college program for production. Okay. That's in Halifax.
Yeah.
Okay.
Been Dartmouth technically, but still kind of Halifax area.
Dartmouth. Okay. Yeah. That's one of those things where people call it Do some people get angry when someone refers to Dartmouth as Halifax? Are there people like that?
I feel like everybody has a mutual understanding that Dartmouth is still under Halifax Regional Municipality. Is that how you pronounce that word?
Municipality? Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So for this project, you think the lo-fi thing is nice, and the mixes are, the mixes are interesting. I went to
Yeah,
audio.
I've heard that a lot.
You've heard that a lot. Okay. I went to audio engineering school myself as well, like 15, 20 years ago. And like,
Oh, yeah.
there would be
You must
things.
have like,
What's
going
that?
on? You must have been like, what's going on?
Yeah. Well, no. Maybe. No. Well, I mean, in a good way though.
That's good.
Because sometimes I enjoy when something like, so an engineer might hear things and be like, oh, that's wrong. Right. Like that just sounds, even though I don't really believe that's a thing. Like, I don't think something can really sound wrong. Like if it makes you feel something.
Yes, I agree.
You agree? Okay. So that's what kind of perked me up. But I have had Hourglass playing and people like listening over my shoulder that are like almost offended by the way it sounds.
That's hilarious.
The mix of it.
Sorry,
like,
guys.
Yeah.
You can tell them that the artist themselves has apologized.
No. I think it's a good thing that I mean, it still makes someone feel like if someone can feel something and then react to it, and actually it makes them pay attention to it. I don't know. It's valid to me.
Try to let the stories and the melodies kind of rule over the fact that I don't really know how to produce music. I mean, a lot of the best, what motivates me the most about production is that knowing the fact that a bunch of famous and well-known for being really good producers, like a lot of them don't have any kind of training and they just kind of tweak things to how they like it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where I'm going, except I want to use college as kind of like a guide to learn more of the basics so that my mixes can be even more different from each other.
Mm-hmm.
I just really want to do everything music-wise. Like,
are you worried that college would influence you to like make sure your recording sound more like better, more pristine? Like, are you worried? Like some people, they learn music theory and then they're worried it's going to affect their creativity because now they know the quote unquote the rules of writing music.
yeah.
Do you worry about that with production?
I have worried about it and I think about it sometimes, but I really think that I'm just going to make whatever's appropriate for my like life.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go through college and have a better education on production, I feel like depending on what I'm feeling like at the moment or in that month or something, I'm going to make whatever I want to make.
Okay.
If it's hi-fi and follows the rules or not.
Yeah. Just whatever's appropriate feels right in the moment kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not sure if this like whole lo-fi thing is going to be forever. I mean, I'm using this project as kind of like an evolution of my own life, kind of. Mm-hmm. Like, I just released a song that was pretty hi-fi compared to the rest and mixed by someone who wasn't me. And,
okay.
You know.
Yeah.
It's just going to fluctuate, so.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you're talking about Ghost Hands, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great song. And I love the way, like, you still have the kind of, I noticed that too, like the production quality was, I don't know, better's not the right word. It was just like cleaner or something, but.
Like crisper. I say more hi-fi is how I would.
Yeah. It might be more of what someone would be used to hearing, maybe, but.
Exactly. It's more easy listening compared to the rest for sure.
But it still has those cool, like, black metal vocals in the background, which I enjoy.
Thanks.
You do all the vocals? That's you as well, screaming?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you heard the band Love Over from St. John?
I have heard of them, yeah.
Okay.
I think they've played shows here before.
Yeah, they have played. Yeah, they've been down there a couple times, I think. But they're more like, I don't really know what they are. Maybe like emo pop punk. But they have this one song called, it's either Lovely Grave or Lonely Grave. I always mix it up. But it's just like this cool pop emo song. And then the bridge just goes into like blast beats, black metal.
Oh,
and just intense screaming. And super cool, yeah. So, I want to ask you too about, okay, let me just see here. I've got your collection of demos here. I thought the song about Eastlink.
Oh goodness.
That's pretty East Coast, like, because Eastlink is relatively new in New Brunswick. It was like in.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was in Nova Scotia for pretty much exclusively.
Oh yeah, and I made a lot of music knowing that people aren't gonna know what I'm referencing because I don't know. At least back then, I didn't even make music for people. I always just like kept it on Google Drive and never released it. And then my friend was like, "You're gonna get big with this," and I was like, "Okay." So I posted it, even though it's like got such niche references. I mean, I will say that friend did give some good advice. I'm really glad I like ended up releasing stuff, even if it's like some of it is really weird.
Yeah. Well, I listened to it all, and it all seems interesting to me. Is the way I would put it. Like it's and. So your friend, do you think you would have just sat on the music forever if your friend hadn't asked you to release it, basically?
I don't know. I might have come to a realization eventually, but it was definitely that kind of got me out there. I mean, I grew up getting like ridiculed and bullied all the time, so I was like super insecure about everything I had to make. So, once I got like my first friend who would motivate me and be like, "You should really go somewhere with this." I was like, "Oh, maybe because you approve of me, so maybe other people will approve of me." You
Mm-hmm.
know?
Did it take a while to get like the courage to start jamming with people or like teaching others your songs so you could play with them?
Sort of. It just took more time than courage, I think. I think back then I didn't know any good musicians here, and I didn't think any emo people were here, so I just kind of sat on the project. And then I've been through so many lineup changes in I Dialed Your Number, but it's been really good throughout. Like no hate anywhere, but um, it's just taken a while to kind of get the sound I want in real life, which is I've always been. Sorry, I'm kind of like dragging on thoughts here.
Oh no,
That's
go for
kind
it.
of the way I
Yeah,
think I
it's all
speak.
good.
What was I saying? I was saying that the evolution of Dollar Numbers live sound took so much effort to like solidify, and I'm pretty happy with it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And um, yeah, I guess I'm still kind of uncomfortable jamming with people just because I'm not a very talented musician more than I am like a songwriter. I do everything myself, like, but I'm not specially like I'm not proficient in anything. I kind of do everything at a medium level. So
Okay.
it's really hard for me to collaborate with people, except I'd say I am just very comfortable collaborating with my partner because he's like a really good professional session drummer. So
Oh, cool.
that really goes well with my guitar and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very handy. But okay, so well, you must be pretty good at leading a team because like you started a record label and you said yourself you're not maybe not proficient, but you're able to piece together this music and put together lineups to play live.
Oh yeah. I've gotten way better at it over the years, and definitely with a record label that involves so much organizing. And I've always been a great organizer, but
Mm-hmm.
as for collaborating with musicians, I've never been the best musician.
Okay, so how does it work when you collaborate? Do you kind of just do you invite people into the project and let them do their thing, or do you like tell them this is what I'm looking for on this guitar or riff, or this is what I'm looking for as drums or whatever?
I just send them the set list, every song we're going to play live, and I send them the stems, and I tell them these stems are super simple. Like, if you really look into it, the bass lines are only two root notes the whole time. So definitely, you're very encouraged to add your own stuff. And I'd say the live sound has evolved just with how my bandmates have like added their own sparkle to it.
Okay, cool. So the structure of the song will be the same when you perform it live, but each lineup or each person kind of like can put a spin on it, so it's different.
Yeah, pretty much. And if there's a structure that I'd rather play live, I'll just let them know and be like, just kind of, for example, like I'm no longer in control of my body. The last song off Hourglass, I don't like to play the whole ending of it. I just like to stop it earlier.
Okay.
So stuff like that is discussed.
Okay, cool. And have you played mainly just in Halifax at this point, or have you been out and about yet?
I have shows booked that in other places, but I right as of right now, I've only really been playing Radstorm.
Okay.
As I dialed your number.
Cool. So getting up to Fredericton for Flourish Fest should be pretty like good introduction to that scene, right?
Yeah, I'm so excited. I haven't been to New Brunswick in a really long time, so it'll be fun to I'm just gonna go on a road trip with all my friends, with who are my bandmates,
Nice.
and just have a great time. It'll be really fun.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of great bands coming out of Fredericton right now.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited to play. I'm so excited to play with T for 3.
Oh yeah, they're good.
They've been like, I feel like what do I call the pure emo committee, like Angry Wild Elephant, Captain Sunshine. I feel like they've mutually agreed that even though T for 3 is not from Nova Scotia, they can be pure emo if they want.
Okay, they're like honorary members.
Yeah, honorary. Yeah. Very honorary. I'm super excited to meet them.
Okay, that's really cool. So, do you have hopes of like? I guess you're going to school in the fall, but do you have hopes of like hitting the road and heading out to Ontario or Quebec or anything?
I actually have not plans, not solidified plans yet, but have been weighing out the options of doing a little US tour in the next year.
Okay.
Which will be fun. And I definitely do want to go to Ontario. I used to live there, so
okay. Okay.
It'd be pretty cool.
You were born in Ontario?
I was, yeah.
Okay.
I only lived there for 5 years, but
5 years. Okay.
I still have some vague early childhood memories from it.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's tons of places to play out there. Like Love Over just went out there, and I think they went with Dad Patrol or maybe the Mercy Buckets might have went out there too. Yeah, they're both awesome. Dad Patrol and Mercy Buckets are wicked. I noticed a band here in St. John put out a release on a CDR, which I just thought is, again, going back to like when I was in my early 20s, CDs just ruled the world. So
yeah, that's cool. It's like how tapes are coming back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Tapes came back. I was living in Montreal briefly, and that's kind of when tapes in like 2010, that's like when the hardcore and the punk scene there started to use tapes.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Tapes are coming back. So then I was just wondering if CDs are going to be looping back to amongst like the next generation. So I wanted to ask you that if like amongst your scene, and really it's not just about CDs, I guess the question of like music so like digitized and streamable and all that stuff. I kind of wonder if there's a movement back towards physical media amongst like people in the next generation.
For sure. Definitely amongst music nerds. I feel like any medium of physical media is like just used. And I think it will continue to be used for a really long time.
Mm-hmm. What do you like most about the physical media aspect of it?
I don't want to lie to you. The fact that I can price it at like $15 instead of one stream, which is equivalent to a small fraction of a cent.
Yeah.
So I've made quite a bit of profit off of physical runs.
Okay.
But other than that, it's also just really cool to have like just in your room. I have I try not to collect physical media because I never listen to it and I don't have enough money to really have a collection. But I have just a couple and I really like the way it looks in my room. It's just kind of decoration. And there was also a different audio quality to tapes and vinyl, and I know that's really appreciated in the music community.
Yeah, people like that. I mean, yeah, the tape will over time stretch, and it's a physical thing moving on a gear. So technically, each tape is going to sound slightly different over time.
I know that was very fascinating.
Yeah. Same with vinyl.
It's really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Well, anyone listening, that's a good lesson. You know, what you just said about being able to make a little bit of money off the merch, off the physical media. Because that's interesting that that's where your brain went first. I guess you own a record label. And so this is, and you said you're good at organizing. So
it's kind of on my mind a lot. I mean, not profit, but things like that, like tape runs and the money.
Well, you do need, I messaged you over email about that band Chastity that just came through here.
Oh no, I forgot.
Oh no, it's all good. I was just saying, like, he came on the show too. The main, he's kind of the same thing where he's the main songwriter for the project, and like the members always change. And he considers himself not really that proficient at music either, so he's always like working in groups and teams. And he's on Dine Alone Records, so he's like kind of like mid, like his trajectory, like he's doing pretty well business wise. But we were talking about money is what it came down to, is like how managing money on the road, paying for van repairs, and making sure you have enough merch sales to pay for gas, obviously. And
money is so important.
Yeah, exactly. How it's one of those things. It's often overlooked, of course, because musicians and punk rock folks may not want to think about money, but unfortunately, you got to make it balanced to if you want to hit the road.
Absolutely, I'm definitely very, very happy to have the people that I have in this community who helped me a lot with finance stuff, like especially my friend Grotto, who's the partner of my keyboardist and also my bandmate in my other band, Deadhead in Miami, and he's just been super, super helpful. He's gonna drive us to Flourish, and we're all gonna chip in for like the car cost. So I'm very excited. Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, it's good to surround yourself with like supportive types and people that are want to see you succeed and also helping you succeed.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah. So that's cool. That's rad, as I would say. So Rad Storm. So is that's like the focal point of the whole scene and movement and support system? Would you say, or is
The all ages emo scene, absolutely, but the Halifax scene, I'd say it's just another contributing factor. There's so many other good venues, and there are some very little other all ages shows, either at the Lighthouse or Woodside Tavern, which is usually a bar, but sometimes like North of America, they made it an all ages show, so it's possible.
Do they do wet dry shows, like where you can have both all ages and a section for people who want to drink?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. That was always like the holy grail when we would play in Ontario and stuff. It was like if you could get a venue that would do a section for people who want to drink and a section for people that are underage, so they can't, intermingle and get into the alcohol for obvious reasons. So
I wish we had that here, because it's such a good it's a good way to attract both crowds.
Yeah, exactly. So I wonder if that's anyone listening who owns a venue. There's a new venue here in town called Haven Music Hall. Actually, you would probably be well received at Haven Music Hall here in St. John.
Cool.
They do a lot of alternative projects and all kinds of shows all the time. And they will do all ages shows, but they don't do wet dry, but they'll do all ages, or sometimes they'll do bar shows. All right. So, that nails all the questions for me. I'm going to be up in Fredericton for Flourish Festival. So I'm hoping to catch, excuse me, I'm hoping to catch your set.
Sure, yeah.
I'm going to be up there for work or whatever, but I'm hoping I'll have some free time to check out a few of the shows.
Oh yeah. I'm so upset I have to leave on the 22nd. It's like I can't even enjoy the whole festival. I have to go back and play a show here.
Oh, really? You got to get back for a show?
Yeah.
That's kind of like being on tour.
Myself really badly there. I'm excited to play that show though. So.
Yeah, it'll be cool. So you're playing with T for 3?
Yeah, I'm playing with T. I'm pretty sure I'm after T for 3 on the 21st. Okay. I think. Cool.
I'll shout it out. I'll look up the actual details and shout it out on Sunday when I air the interview, just so listeners, because this will go out as a podcast of sorts too afterwards. So I'll try to get that out before Flourish Festival, just to add some extra promo.
Yeah, I'm super excited. This is the first I Dialed Your Number show that's not in Halifax, which is very exciting.
Nice. Cool. And do you have, Ghost Hands, just coming back to the music here to wrap it up, Ghost Hands, the newest single, I call it a single. Is it going to be connected to a record, or is this a one?
No, it's a single.
It's a single.
I don't have enough money to make to studio record a whole album.
I guess you said this one was mixed and stuff by someone else, right?
Yeah, and now that I think of it, it didn't even cost me any money for Ghost Hands, because it was just my bandmates and I that recorded it. Well, bandmates at the time and I that recorded it, and the guy who mixed and mastered it is the mix and mastering engineer of Warmlock Records. So he was just like, you're the homie, like it's on the house.
Nice.
and then we recorded it at the community college that I'm going to for music engineering. So it was free because I got in with another student there.
Okay. So you'll probably have access to that studio when you're a student, right? You'll be able to kind of use the studio after hours. That's
like half of the reason I'm going to study there, because it's worth $2 million, the studio. Yeah. It's crazy. It's huge. It's got every little knob that you need. I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's really cool. Are you going to be, I would imagine too, like here in New Brunswick, there's Music New Brunswick, where bands can apply to grants to help fund records and tours and stuff. There must be something like that in Music Nova Scotia too, or in Nova Scotia, I mean.
Yeah, and it is called Music Nova Scotia.
It is called, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I did actually apply for Music Nova Scotia, the festival this year, and the first 40 artists were announced today, and I'm not on it, but maybe I will be later. I don't know. It's okay if not. I mean, it did cost $60, but
for an application, you mean, like an application fee?
Yeah. Actually, costed more than $60. I don't quite remember, but yeah. There are grants and things around here, especially like SoCan. You can apply to get more money on your streams, I think. I'm actually not too sure about any of it. I mean, I did apply for Music Nova Scotia, and that will help me gain more connections within the scene.
Mm-hmm. It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting when you're in college if they offer a business course or like that, because what you just said is true. Like it's like there's all these, now with streaming, there's all these different companies or organizations you're supposed to sign up with that monitor like the streaming royalties in Canada and the US, and then globally there's it used to just be one. You could just sign up to SoCan and then they would sign you up to BMI in the States. But now with streaming, it's there seems to be 3 or 4 or 5, and you don't really know, no one really seems to know how the money's being collected from my limited experience, but it'd be interesting if they teach you that in school.
Yeah, there is a music business course, which I'm pretty excited for.
Cool.
I'm not sure, like, I'm not actually very informed about all the grant companies here, and I've always just never been super interested in it. I mean, I like money, but I am so lazy, and I feel like music is just kind of like it's just an art for me, and I just want to like put it out and enjoy myself. And
yeah.
But if there is a way to make more money off of it, I will definitely look into it if it's doable.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, usually, like I know in New Brunswick, they'll fund 50%, you know, so you still need to put in your own investment. It's just one of those things. If you know you're going to spend $1,000 and you apply, and then they're like, oh, we'll match it. Basically, we'll give you $1,000 too. It kind of means like you get to hire more of your friends, or you get to like give money to other people to help you with your project. That's kind of how I like to think about it.
Yeah.
Cool. So, anything you want to shout out specifically before we call it a day?
Nothing's coming to mind right now, but I know once I hang up, I'm going to be like, shit, I should have.
Well, I mean, we can do a recap. So Radstorm, anyone listening. So I'm going to personally investigate Radstorm because I feel like there's some bands who would love to know that there's like an all ages venue.
I'd book Radstorm too. If you ever have a band in New Brunswick that is planning to come to Halifax and they need a show booked, just let me know.
Okay. And that'd be like an all ages show. So it's
always all ages, and it's always pay what you can.
It's always all ages. So no guarantees for the bands. Like it's kind of like a door deal, probably.
Depending on the media significance of the band, honestly, because they're not to leak anything. I mean, are you like an emo fan? Like you would know of kind of like emo bands.
I mean, I know a few of them, I suppose, but
like more of like a lo-fi emo genre, like bands, fifth wave emo bands that are kind of circling around.
Fifth wave, to be honest, I just heard the term fifth wave like yesterday.
Oh, really?
And so I don't know. It depends who you're talking about. I listen to some mid. So like I would think of like Modern Baseball. Are they considered part of that scene?
Right. Yeah. Modern Baseball. I'd say they're like fourth wave and more hi-fi than like a lot of stuff now. But it's just so much to get into. But anyway, this is a secret, so I don't want it posted anywhere. But
gotcha. Okay, but you would. It's kind of a risk, right? You would expect to make the money back at the door based on the draw of the bands, like a calculated risk.
I mean, Radstorm shows have been doing really well lately. Like I've sold out every single show I've played under this band, and we've been making lots of money. And I'm sure if a touring band from New Brunswick were to come down, that they would be reimbursed in a way by the show. But yeah, I can't really guarantee much.
Is it weekend shows, or do you do weekday shows? Like what's the preferred?
Well, there's a better turnout at Friday shows, but you can have them on any day of the week as long as it's not already booked on the Radstorm calendar. Okay.
And what time do the shows usually start and finish at? Is there a time?
Doors are usually like 6:30 to 7, and music is usually 7 to 8 around there, and it usually wraps up just before 11.
Just before 11. Okay. Cool. Yeah, my old band, we sometimes every once in a while we would do an all ages show like that and end at 11, and then we go to a bar show that same night just to double up. Like if you're in town somewhere anyway, so then you get 2 gigs. That's why I was asking those questions. There could be some bands that would want to do that in all ages and a bar show the same night, double up the potential.
Never actually thought about doing that. I always assumed it would be way too late to get to the bar show because the bar show ends usually even earlier for me.
Yeah, it does. Okay, because when I was playing across the country, like again, it's like 15 or 20 years ago. It was like sometimes you wouldn't be getting on stage till like 1 a.m. Like that's when you'd be playing. So, which was too late. Like I didn't. It was
too late.
It's brutal. Yeah.
I really like opening, and I like being second, but sometime after that, I start getting like really restless and tired, and I never give it my all when I'm not opening.
Yeah. When you're not opening.
Yeah. Last show or 2 shows ago, I tried to time my caffeine intake, like drink an energy drink, so that it times when I'm like going up, like the peak is timed to when I perform.
Okay.
And I was like, oh yeah, this will be easy. I'm feeling good right now, and I'm about to go on stage, and it'll be great. And turns out the band before me, which was like it was a songwriter band. very good band, but they had like a 30-song set list.
Damn.
And went way longer than like you're supposed to.
Yeah.
And by the end of that, I was just like, I was crashing on it. I was like, no.
Yeah.
And then I probably play probably the worst show that I ever played.
Yeah, that's rough when a band. I mean, a super long set like that too just sucks the energy from the room too. Because unless the band's like amazing, you know. But yeah,
exactly. And like, part of my set is literally to scream my lungs out, and I just couldn't do it very well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do it okay, but it just wasn't I couldn't give it my all, which is what's saying.
Mm-hmm. Oh, car alarm.
Yeah, I'm right in the heart of Halifax. Let me show you.
Oh yeah, okay. Are you near the Commons?
Oh yeah, it's just down the street. You can see the bridge from here.
Yeah.
Bridge to Dartmouth.
Do they still do shows at the Pavilion? Is that still a building? Is that still on the Commons?
No, the Pavilion's not a thing anymore, actually. There is a Pavilion Association, and they've worked with venues like the Lighthouse Arts Center for events like Battle of the Bands, but
okay.
No, the Pavilion, unfortunately, is not a thing anymore, but Radstorm got their PAs.
Oh,
so
nice. Okay.
we got some of their equipment.
That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, used to be tons. I saw Avenged Sevenfold there, Pavilion.
Oh, seriously?
Like way back. Yeah, it was wild.
Wow.
It was crazy. Yeah, it was like
big bands would like to play Halifax, like for the Pop Explosion stuff.
Yeah. The Pop Explosion. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, Pop Explosion was literally just down the street from where I am right now. So
okay,
it's like
pretty
so
handy.
much history.
It's nice, and Halifax has always been kind of known for its music scene. Like in the early '90s too, it kind of exploded with like Sloan and that whole sub pop era.
And we used to have like screamo, and then we just didn't for like 15 years. So that's another thing that I'm really happy about is that like multiple older people have reached out to me and been like, "Thank you, thanks for bringing it back."
Thanks for bringing it back. Yeah, okay. Do you know of the band the Letters Unfold? Does that name sound familiar?
It sounds familiar, but I haven't listened to them. I don't think.
They were a Halifax screamo band from like 2005ish, probably 2009 or something like that.
I would have been very young.
You should check them out. You'd probably appreciate it. And A Sight for Sewn Eyes was another band too. They were pretty like aggressive and.
Someone is making noise out there. Sorry.
That's all good. Cool. All right. So yeah, I'll spin a couple tunes. I'll spin Good Hands. That's what it's called, right? Yeah, Ghost Hands. Sorry.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, I'll spin that and a couple tunes off of Hourglass. I'll cue those up and spin it too. And anyone listening, I'll put out the contact info or the information for the show at Flourish Fest. So anyone who wants to check out your set can do that.
Going hard lawn mowing right now. Or
oh
something.
Yeah, I can't even hear it.
You can hear it. It's so loud for me. It's like.
Oh yeah, no, it's not. The algorithm must be muting it.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Jessie. I'm grateful you took the time to chat with me today, and I'm curious.
Arranging it.
Yeah, no problem. Now I've got a bunch of questions too, but I'll have to explore the pure emo scene again, or some more. I mean, let's drop those band names again. So there's Breakfast Time, Proud Dads, which they don't have anything on streaming right now. I don't think so. Okay.
I don't know, difficult, but yeah, Angry Wild Elephant, Proud Dads, Breakfast Time, Captain Sunshine, and there's actually, if you go on Captain Sunshine's Spotify page, if you scroll down a little bit and go to artist playlists, there will be a pure emo playlist.
Okay.
Which has all of the bands that we consider pure emo.
Okay.
And the picture is of the Pure Emo Showdown, which was the first emo show revival in Halifax, January 20th. It's got a picture like me and my old band and Captain Sunshine, Breakfast Time, and Dead into Miami before it became a band.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, maybe I'll queue up a few of those tracks because usually the first hour of the show will be music and then I'll play an interview. So maybe I'll put together a playlist of those bands.
I recommend No It's Fine.
No It's Fine, the band?
No It's Fine.
Great band names.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Again, yeah, thanks a lot for coming on, Jessie. I really appreciate it. And maybe I'll say hi if I get to catch your set up in Fredericton. Maybe I'll pop over and say hi at the merch booth or something.
Hell yeah, that'd be great.
Cool. Awesome.
All right.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.